Welcome back to Parks and Relaxation. This is day 7 of our cross-country road trip. I had said I would put up some drone footage of the campsite where we had stayed the night before outside of Butte, Montana. The actual name of the campground is called Homestake Pass in Whitehall, Montana. There's about 500 miles of ATV and UTV trails that are open to the public. You just have to kind of pop a spot right on top of the mountain here, and you can explore all of this trail. When we got in the night before, there was many families out having s'mores and cooking food. There's actually a pretty cool little, probably 3-acre open spot on the top of this mountain where everybody can get plenty of room to camp. But now for today's adventure. We did a free hot spring and we camped for free on a beach in Idaho. The trip was about 6 hours and we did 300 miles. The hot springs were located right about halfway. The whole area we traveled is in the Nez Perce National Forest. It's somewhat famous, one of the bigger mountain ranges, well, more a forest range in northern Idaho. There is a lot of parking. Unfortunately, even being rainy this day, we had to park on the side of the road just because of how big our rig is. If you're in anything smaller than maybe 25 foot, you should be able to park right in, but we're closer to 32. The trail took about an hour to hike, and it says it's about 1.5 miles online, and I'd say that's fairly accurate. There's only one spot that has a lot of elevation. It's a pretty easy hike, and of course you have hot springs to bathe in at the end. The trail follows the body of water and has multiple waterfalls. We all found it interesting to see where forest fires had come through some of the trees, and even the kids were able to go inside the trees like it was a redwood forest or something. Even though it was midsummer, the elevation and temperature was mid-60s and we're about 7,000 feet up, so you're able to wear a sweatshirt and pants. What's interesting is with the hot springs here, you can actually see boiling water mixing in with the cold water. At the end of the hike, we're able to break down into our swim trunks, and we jumped in. It was kind of busy at the first spring, and then we worked our way a little farther up the mountain to get to the next spring, and the farther you go up, the less amount of people there are, but also the hotter the water is. Of course, I jumped in with my phone in my pocket and made it so after about this point we were not able to get any more pictures, so we headed down the road as we're letting my phone dry. About 2 hours farther towards our destination, we came across Whitebird Grade, which is a old Indian battle site. It's actually got a pretty interesting history if you have time to stop and pay respect to what happened there. The day was starting to wind down and we're getting close to our destination to have camp for the night. At this point we had gotten out of the mountainous area and more into the plains of Idaho. Obviously there's still some elevation change, but nothing like what we were in before. Quick fill up of gas and then we worked towards the Salmon River in Whitebird, Idaho. This spot was one of our favorites on the whole trip, and you're allowed to stay here for 14 days for free. It's on a back road off from a main road, and then the parking area where you actually camp leads down into a beach that is along the water. So it's kind of like 3 levels here. I'm taking a picture from the road, down into the parking area, and then from the parking area there's a beach. There's also an outhouse here that was actually pretty clean. We had gotten in early enough that we actually planned a dinner and spent some time kind of organizing the camper because it had been a week of non-stop going. And their dandelions here are huge. Kind of random, but that's where the picture showed up. So this is down about 100 yards from where the camper was, so it's kind of like a switchback. Brings you down to a boat launch, and there's a beach down here. Kind of gives you a little bit of perspective from this photo here. As the sun was going down, we started collecting some random scrap that was laying around to help pick up the area, and the kids are starting to make sandcastles. So we decided, let's have a beach fire. If you had told me a week prior that you'd be on a beach in Idaho having a fire with the family, I would have told you no way. But we had an absolute blast, cooked some s'mores, got some much needed rest. The next morning I got up and got some drone footage for you guys. Another thing that should also be noted is this is BLM land, that's why it's free. You're able to find free BLM land, national forest, all sorts of free camping on an app called freecamping.net. Using that app, I was able to save money almost every single night on the trip. We only paid for about 5 nights in total. Sorry if the drone footage is a little shaky, still getting used to using it. This area is fairly remote, only a few houses. There was a guy across the street from the actual camping area. He seemed to come out around 8 o'clock at night, take a look, see what's going on, and then nobody came out the rest of the night. Closest city is about a 40-minute drive to actually get food. It's a quick tease of what we're doing the next day, to keep you interested. If you like this series, please think about liking and subscribing to us. As always, remember, don't wait, adventure today.